Catching a lot of wired pairs so far.
Well, he's going to raise it. Comes in for 600,000.
That is an additional 400 grand. Renee folding his queen six. Around to JJ Lou. Look at this. She's got ace-6 of diamonds in the small blind. She's already got 100 grand in there.
She's still rubbing her toe from stubbing it just a minute ago. She opts to lay it down.
Interesting. And now it's around to Doyle, who's got a couple 100 grand in. He's only got a 10-8.
I recognize there's almost $1 million in the pot. Going to cost Doyle 400,000 more to make this call. And he is doing it, Vince. He's going to gamble here.
Gonna speculate. Doyle Brunson with just 10-8.
Well, Doyle understands that you have to play when the blinds and hands get this high. You just can't sit back and wait for all the monster hands because they're hard to get. Well, he's going to try to flop something here, and he better flop something good.
Thought the tip's worth more than that.
He's going to take down 2 9s.
The Finn against the legend. 9s versus 10-8. Here we go.
Well, the flop comes 8-4 deuce. Doyle Brunson has flopped top pair.
And we know Patrik has got the overpair, the 9s.
This could spell doom for him, Vince. There's no way he's going to get away from this hand.
All in.
Oh, he's pushing it all in.
I call.
Patrick's quickly going to call with the overpair. Now, what a pot this is. Nearly $5 million in this pot. And Doyle Brunson is up against it.
Well, he was playing with danger, making that call before the flop. He speculates, hits his hand, but now he's in deep trouble.
He's got to catch a 10 or an 8 here.
Great Doyle Brunson on the ropes here.
Now, Vince, if he loses this pot, he can just go back and analyze calling before the flop here. He's got to have a 10 or an 8 to take the lead in this pot. Oh, a 10 comes up on the card. The crowd goes wild. Oh, but it's not over because it's a club. Notice that Patrik now has a flush draw with his 2 9s, so he can win the pot with any club or any 9.
Doyle Brunson catching lucky on the turn. Now can he hold it up?
This would be a huge break for Doyle Brunson. If his hand holds up and he wins this pot, to put an outdraw on your opponent like this is major.
Here comes the river.
Well, it's a 4. Doyle's going to win this pot with 10s and 8s.
Oh.
And Patrik Antonius is saying to himself, I see why they call you the godfather of poker.
Oh, it's nice to do the wrong thing at the right time.
Also, make sure to comment below what you would like to see next, and we will work on your ideas as soon as possible.
And now Patrik Antonius with acey-deucey.
Well, Vince, Patrik has got to think the ace high is the best hand here after Doyle limps in.
I'm all in.
Oh, he's
Well,
going
he's
over
going
the
all
top.
in.
I call.
And Doyle quickly calls it.
He's calling with a small pair for over $4 million. He's just tired of getting pushed around by this guy, I think, Vince.
Well, what's interesting, he wasn't invested, didn't have a whole lot of money in there. He is calling off with a little pair, and that's the play we said, you know, you're not supposed to be doing. But the great Doyle Brunson is doing just that.
I can't be live his call with pocket face, you know.
But look at the timing of it, Vince. The guy's only got 1 overcard instead of 2 like you'd expect him to have.
I was trying to get a little better hand than that and get this on, but
It's the best hand I can have for you.
Doyle is running to an ace-deuce.
you're right.
And he has made a great call here.
Well, that's, I
He's
guess,
a 2-1 favorite.
Doyle ran him for the deuce. What are you going to say? Only Doyle can do
No.
that. Well, he would become the new chip leader if his 3 should hold up. All of it on the line for Doyle Brunson. And that's a favorable flop for Doyle Brunson. His 3's out in front.
Well, right now, all Doyle's got to dodge is an ace. If Patrik catches the bullet, it will shoot Doyle Brunson down. Things looking good right now for the Cowboy. Doyle Brunson in great shape to double up and take the lead. Here comes the turn card. Well, it's a 9. Patrik claps his hands because he knows that gives him 6 more outs to win the pot. He can win the pot with any ace, any 10, any 6.
Doyle Brunson would love to wrap this up, lasso this young Finn, teach him a little lesson. It's all going to come down to this cash card, the river card.
Over $8.6 million in this pot. It's coming down to the river card. Doyle's got to dodge an ace, a 10, or a 6. Let's see if he can do it. He's done it. It's a 9. Doyle's made a full house. He's going to take this pot down. breaks into a big Texas grin.
Now what's interesting, I think Patrik thought he hit the card. He saw the pair. And for a second there, he thought there would be 2 pair on the board and his ace would win as a kicker. But then he quickly realized Doyle Brunson with his full 9-4. And now Doyle Brunson has ace-6. He says all in with it.
That hand figures to be a favorite over the big blind. Can't blame Doyle for going all in here.
Oh, but right behind him, Patrik with a big hand himself. Ace-9 offsuit.
Well, he's faced with a tough decision as to what to do here.
I hate this coin flips. I just hate this so much.
You didn't mind it when you were doing it to me all night.
I never had. You would call me in 1 second, but I just.
Remember, the third place finisher gets $563,000. The winner gets over $2 million. So much on the line.
Well, Patrik has an opportunity.
I call it.
Huge one right here. He makes the call.
Well, he is making the call, and he is going to love it. Well, you see how happy he
Give me
is.
this one.
He knows he's got him dominated.
Come on, it's
But as dominating as it looks, he's still only about a 2-to-1 favorite to win this pot.
And if Doyle should get lucky, he could break the young man. The Scandinavian champion of 2005, this young man.
You see the intense look on Patrik's face here. He's just trying to get his hand to hold up. Here's the flop. It's ace-8-7.
Oh, wow.
Now, both players have made a pair of aces, but Patrik's kicker, the 9, is better, and it looks like it's going to play here, Vince.
Doyle Brunson with major kicker problems.
Well, Doyle's going to have to catch a 6. 2 running cards to make a straight. Well, a queen comes off.
Oh, and the male model is looking pretty here.
Well, Doyle can tie this pot now. If a 7 or an 8 comes off, he'll win it if a 6 comes off. So right now, Doyle Brunson looking for what we call a 3 across, a 6, 7, or an 8.
6, 7, 8. Doyle gets at least part of this pot.
He needs to suck out.
He doesn't get it.
No, he does not.
A deuce comes off. So the phenom from Finland getting the best of Doyle Brunson right there.
Oh, yeah. Patrik Antonius kicking Doyle. Him, look at this. He's got a big hand, though.
I'm all in.
King Jack, he says, naturally I'm all in.
I'd go all in, too, with advance if I was in his shoes with that chip stack.
And right behind him, Patrik with a queen 7. He goes down.
Oh, my golly.
I call.
Renee has picked up 2 kings. If you were going to dream about a hand you wouldn't want to be up against right now, if you were Doyle Brunson, it's 2 kings, and that's exactly what Renee showed up with. This is unbelievable.
Just a complete debacle for Doyle Brunson, making his move up against kings.
And that's the 3rd time that people have moved all in on Renee when he's picked up a big pair out of the blind. Incredible. Here, Doyle's going to have to get very lucky to outdraw him.
Okay, let's see the flop. King Jack has 2 kings.
Casper, you better get to work, buddy.
Doyle getting ready to get up, he says, and there's the flop.
Well, Doyle's going to have to catch 2 runners now to win this pot. It's going to have to come Jack-Jack or 2 running cards to make a straight.
I need a queen.
Well, Doyle says, give me a queen, and that's what came off.
Oh, sure.
That gives him an open-end straight draw. He now has 8 cards he can catch to win this pot. Any ace or any 9.
Can the maestro predict his hand?
Well, look at Renee. He said, I can't believe it. I know this is his house, but please, don't do this to me. We're talking about over $1.5 million in real money and a WPT title.
The Dane in prayer mode. River card coming up.
Well, it's an 8. Renee breathing a sigh of relief, and the legendary Doyle Brunson out in 3rd place.
Doyle Brunson, the Dalai Lama of poker.